That's right, my little roaches, come out from under the fridge, wherever you've been hiding. Come on out, friends. It's another episode of the Josh Potter Show, taped here in the Night Pants Studios.
That's like a fucking softball.
Ooh, we got Aaron Marshall with the music here. Didn't know there were drops at this point. Now I wanted to hear them. I'm like, ooh, what did it say? Oh, it's a queef song, baby. We haven't had many queefs submitted, Sean. It's been depressing not having a lot of queefs, but if you want to get your queef in, you can always submit to the email, which is joshpottershow@gmail.com. That's where you can also send in your stories. Many Roach reporters out there sending in stories. This week we have one from Adam. We have two from RJ. RJ's out there, one of the hardest working Roach reporters in the biz. So joshpottershow@gmail.com is where you can send your stories, your queefs. You can even send instrumentals or music the way that Aaron Marshall did here with this beautiful queef song that he sent our way. And as far as shows go, I've got two coming up here, two big ones, and a couple other ones around the LA area, but two major ones coming up here. July 29th, Brea Improv. You can get tickets up on my Instagram at Josh_Potter, or you can get it up on my Twitter at J_Potter. Just go to the link in the bio, even if you don't have those things. Just click the link in the bio, and that'll get you to all of the shows that I have coming up. That one, July 29th, again, Brea Improv. I'm bringing Sarah Weinshank and Eric Rocha with me. That's going to be a pretty wild show. And then, of course, I'm going to St. Louis, Missouri on August 2nd to Helium Comedy Club, so you can come out for that show as well. Again, all the tickets can be found on my Instagram and my Twitter or on the club's websites, etc. So I do hope that you can check that out. My twitch.tv/Josh_Potter. I am twitching a lot through the month of July to make up for my absence back in June. So I'm excited that we're going to get into that. I have to pull up my fucking soundboard. There it is. But yeah, no, so I have to thank, by the way, the Twitch, because for those who don't know, this podcast is growing. I have to thank Sean for helping it grow here on its new venture in the new studio, new YouTube channel. Things are growing all the time. Last week's episode with Tom Brenneman, a marquee moment for your boy here and for, I believe, this YouTube channel. So we're going to talk about that in a couple of moments, but wanted to thank the people on Twitch, because the way this works, we're getting plenty of ads. We're getting more and more ads as things go, but you know how things go. Well, maybe you don't, but the money doesn't roll in immediately. So I got to thank the people on Twitch for keeping me going here and supporting the stream and supporting this YouTube channel with all their might. So I wanted to list a couple of people off here, thanking them for their donations, their subscriptions, things like that. Gifting subs. Jayfish, the man, he's gifted over almost 3,000 subs in just the last couple of months on my Twitch stream, which is unreal. I got to thank my man Meatball, a.k.a. Will, Jacob, Phil Dend, Maxwell, Cole Ferry, Heathen and Karen, Quentin, a guy named Dork, pretty cool, and my man Dakota for all helping out in the last, and extreme levels, by the way. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank you if you've been watching the podcast all the way through the new venture. I appreciate it a great deal. Last week, a marquee moment with Tom Brenneman, and it was sort of kismet the way that it came out at the same time that Nick Castellanos struck again. We're going to talk about that, but before we get into that, Sean, I want to talk again about the over-the-top versus the fly debate. We have to bring it up again, and more and more as I'm discussing it with people, I am a through-the-fly guy, and I believe a true Roach uses the fly, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah. 2
bugs and things like that. But there's a lot of people that go over the top, and I'm not, it's kind of a thing where I'm not poo-pooing it, but I'm going to extend an olive branch, and I'm going to say, give the fly a try. That's all. Maybe you'll be a convert, If I could just endorse the fly for a moment, give it a whirl. Maybe you'll go, hey, this isn't so bad after all. It's actually kind of convenient and fun and very easy. I'm not undoing my pants. It's very stealthy. You could take it out at a moment's notice. I'm so quick with the fly. I can do it. Maybe it's me being blind and I'm good with touch and I know my parameters at all times, but I'm so quick with the fly, dude. I mean, have you ever gotten a public blowjob? Yes, let's talk about it here. I know it's the nice boy clock, but I don't mind because we're talking about a gentlemanly thing that is a public blowjob. Have you ever gotten one, Sean?
Yes, I have gotten one.
Now, you go over the top for the public blowjob.
No.
Uh-huh. Interesting. I know it's a different circumstance than peeing. I know that it's a completely different circumstance. But I figure let's use the same logic in terms of stealthiness, in terms of a lot of things. I feel like Through the Fly is just a more gentlemanly move. And in a public blowjob situation, it's not only gentlemanly, it's covert. It is you can if you are about to get caught, it's quick back in. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe not quick back in, but it's a little easier to conceal things than having to do up your entire pants. I mean, I saw a couple of videos from ESPN B-roll and things like that. You see when ESPN crew is filming a baseball game, not all the cameras are being used at the same time. So you got one camera maybe that's like scanning the crowd, trying to find something interesting that they can cut to as they go to commercial. And if you go on YouTube and find them, they're on YouTube, despite YouTube censoring everything. They're on there. You can find them. There's videos of people fucking in the stands, people getting blowjobs because the cameras find them. They're like, is that guy getting a blowjob? And then they like zoom in, and then you hear the crew like laughing while the guy's like getting dope. And that's my dream, frankly, is to be found by an ESPN camera getting a blowjob in one of our nation's wonderful baseball parks. Petco, any of them. Oracle. I'd love to get out by the sea in Oracle Park, getting a beeger. They catch it on the camera. It'd be wonderful. Nevertheless, though, I'm extending an olive branch out to you folk who are over-the-top people. Come on and try The Fly. See if you maybe like it. You might feel like a spy. Feel like James Bond or something using The Fly. Give it a whirl. That's all I'm saying. And those of you who do use The Fly out there, fuck yeah. You know who you are. I might get like members only jackets that are like Through the Fly, little roach on it. It'd be like Team Fly. But yes, last week I got to thank Tom Brenneman for coming on the program once again. Unbelievable experience for me, frankly. Just can't believe he did it, frankly. And it actually turned out the way that I could have hoped in terms of the fact that I'm a lot of you and people who reached out, they said, Tom seems like a really cool guy, and it seems like he is really sorry for what he did, and he's looking to, what's the word, like own up to it and accept his public sort of punishment that he's had. But it's so weird because we talked about it at the top of last show too. This guy can't work really anymore, and he had lost his job, and he's sort of a, what's the word, like a pariah in the industry now. But here we are in the same week that we talked to him, Bill Cosby gets out of jail for like raping many women. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And now I feel like that between Bill Cosby getting out and nobody even, I know a lot of people are outraged about the Bill Cosby getting out thing, but not really. You know what I mean? I think COVID has just deranged all of us. We're kind of just fried. There's a bunch of wild stories that aren't even big stories in terms of the grand scheme of news. Like if you talked to a certain amount of people out there and brought up a couple of these stories that we're going to get to later on, they're wild, and people will be like, I didn't know that was happening. I think it's COVID. I don't know what it is, dude. What do you think it is, Ashawn? Like, nobody, you read some of these stories. Let's not spoil out what they are, but some of these are absolutely insane, like levels of almost like Catholic Church raping children levels of insane.
It's pretty insane. Yeah.
And none of them, I mean, would you, if you talk to your friends, would they know those things were going on?
Not at all.
So I don't know what's happening, but again, Bill Cosby gets out of jail, so I feel like if Bill Cosby can get out of jail, and he's talking about going and doing comedy clubs again, which I think is hilarious. Like, I would love to see all these. I mean, you look at like what Louis C.K. did, which is nowhere near what Cosby did, in my opinion. And Louis C.K. has some clubs that are like, can't book you, sorry. Meanwhile, he is selling tickets, and people have sort of forgiven him in the public eye, I feel, at least in the most part. Whereas, Bill Cosby, no one's going to forgive him. So I want to see the scumbag club owner that's like, let's book him and see. Let's give it a whirl. But Tom Brenneman, though, it's so funny because not only did he do our interview that day, but also it seemed like the stars are aligned once again. Nick Castellanos hit another home run the night before our interview aired. And kind of took the onus off. It brought up the Brenneman situation again because, of course, while he was making his apology, we talked about it last week, while he was making his apology, he then called the Nick Castellanos home run in Kansas City, where this happens again. So Nick Castellanos returns to the scene of the crime where he hit a home run during Tom Brenneman's apology, and for whatever reason, the Bally Sports Kansas City broadcast team, led by Ryan Lefevre, were eulogizing a man right when Nick Castellanos came up to the plate. Let's hear the video.
Well, that's a great life. 96 years. And Pat, just like his dad, went to KU. He also went to Bishop Ward High School. There's a drive into deep left center field, and there's never a great time to eulogize someone during the
same
broadcast.
Spot in the fucking park, too.
We apologize for the timing, but our hearts go out to Pat. He's just been a tremendous loyal employee to the Royals for 26 years. And his wife, Katie, she lost her father-in-law.
That's
and
good.
daughters.
That's good. You can
Abby and
stop it there.
Caroline.
You get the gist. So he goes right back into it, Ryan Lefevre. And so he got hit by the Nick Castellanos curse as well. Crazy, right? And it's so crazy. Did you know this too, Ashawn? When Nick Castellanos got his first career home run, it was on the evening that we murdered Osama bin Laden.
3 for 3, this guy. What the heck?
Yeah, it's crazy. And there's another guy. This led me down a wormhole. I was talking to KFC and I saw a couple tweets from a couple of his coworkers because they were retweeting about this weird curse that Nick Castellanos is going through. And I think Nick Castellanos, through history, if you pull up the JFK assassination, as someone showed me, if you pull up Martin Luther King getting murdered, if you go back to the day of Pearl Harbor, Nick Castellanos is hitting a home run in some other universe in that time. Some parallel universe. But there's a thing called the Aaron Ramsey curse. And Aaron Ramsey is a man who played for the Juventus, I believe is how you say it, soccer club. And every time he was on Arsenal as well. So back, I think when he was on he switched to Juventus in 2019. But he scored, every time he'd score a goal, a celebrity would die.
Don't let that motherfucker at my shows.
Yeah, the curse of Aaron Ramsey. And I'm trying to find out the list here of who died. Out of 64 career goals, 23 were followed by the death of a celebrity.
Ooh.
Scientist Stephen Hawking, comedian Ken Dodd, who's European, I'd assume. 2015, he opened up about the curse, calling it ridiculous, even though it was happening. Like, I would just be like, it would rattle me for sure. Ted Kennedy. Okay, here's the list. Ted Kennedy, Andres Monte, I don't know who that is. Osama bin Laden, he also was a guy who scored during that time. Steve Jobs, Muammar Gaddafi, Whitney Houston, Ken Norton, Ray Williams, I don't know who those are, but Paul Walker.
What?
Yeah, Robin Williams, David Bowie, Alan Rickman. Yeah.
What?
The list goes on. Nancy Reagan, Roger Moore, Greg Allman.
Jesus
just naming guys that I
Christ.
know. Burt Reynolds. So, yeah, the curse of... So, Nick Castellanos isn't that bad. Nick Castellanos seems to just like to, if you see Nick Castellanos coming up to the plate as a broadcaster, call the game. Don't do anything else. Why are you doing a eulogy when one of the Reds all-stars is coming up to the plate? You know he's going to do something. God.
Idiot!
Why would you plan it at that time? No one's going to do it again, by the way. Anytime Nick Castellanos comes to the plate, a broadcaster, he might get an ad. He might get something. He's going to shuffle that away. He's going to say, wait till I don't know, Tucker Barnhart gets up onto the plate, and then I'll do the ad. All right? We're not doing it right now. No way. No way, no how. We've got a lot to get into as far as sports goes. Someone brought this up to me. I wanted to play this clip here real quick on my end of things. Where the hell is it? Someone brought this up to me on Twitter, and people bring this up to me all of the time, I feel like, and I'll play this so I could tell you what the context is. It's our boy John Otto, of course.
The anti-women stance is clear in these lyrics. Limp Bizkit's song. Gee, if I hear about them again, I'll throw up. It's Murder, She Wrote. You barely heard a word as she choked. It wasn't nuttin', N-U-T-T-I-N. It wasn't nuttin', these mindless, mental dwarves, troglodytes, cave people.
That is the great John Otto, one of my favorite broadcasters of all time. He's, of course, rest in peace. He was on the air until 1999, and he died right after he left the air. And there he was at the tail end of his career, and the world had changed in front of John Otto's eyes, and now he was forced to talk about things like Limp Bizkit. And there he was quoting an Eminem lyric, I do believe. And that's why he said Limp Bizkit songs. I think that's either... That's an Eminem lyric, right? I think. I'm not sure who it is, but they're a lyric where they say Limp Bizkit. And that's why he gets up in arms. He goes, gee, if I hear about them again, I'll throw up. You know why? Because there's a member of Limp Bizkit named John Otto.
What?
And Fred Durst, in a couple of the songs, Fred Durst, if you recall, he goes, John Otto! Take him to the Matthews Bridge! Remember that shit? You're too young, I think. And we're not into Limp Bizkit, I'd imagine. Right?
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so that was like, he was always saying John Otto or shouting him out because he was the guitar player in, I think he was the guitar player. No, was he? Yeah, he was the guitar player, right? Let's fact check me real quick here. Yeah, but he was either the guitar player or the drummer, but he would always get shouted out by Fred Durst. He was the drummer.
John Otto.
Yeah, drummer of Limp Bizkit.
Yup.
So... so he was always getting shouted out. And so I think back on the air at that time, people used to reference that to John Otto, the broadcaster, and that's why he was like, gee, if I hear about them again, I will throw up. And everyone's like, John Otto's in Limp Bizkit. I'm like, yeah, of course. He even knew about it, and he hated it, as a matter of fact, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
Can't abide such idiocy any longer.
Let's get into the sports.
Beep 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 beep.
Now, we have some gnarly fucking sports stories coming up here. Gnarly. And I have to make sure I have to give you really journalistic integrity. It has to be on high alert for these stories. But let's get into a fun one first. And this one has my brain in a pretzel because I think I am starting to like Tom Brady more than Aaron Rodgers. I never really liked Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to lie. He seems kind of like a dildo. He's either a dildo or he's one of those guys where it's like, man, is he the coolest guy to hang out with? But you have to be like super friends with him to know that. And I just feel like he's a dick. No one in his family likes him. Granted, his brother is a bit of a drip, so I can kind of see that. And but no, his parents hate him. He hates his parents. So when I see him, and especially the way he's doing things, if you don't know, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, he's been the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers since Brett Favre. It's been a long time. Everyone thinks he would retire there. He's got 4 years left on his contract, and he is starting to get a little pissy with the Green Bay Packers. Now, people can say, well, he's not being treated right, blah, blah, blah. He's not acting great in public, though, despite not being treated right. So I don't know if it's a cry for a trade, if it's trying to push a trade. Whatever it is, he's acting pissy in public. And I think it comes off as pissy. And, he's also married now to Shailene Woodley. He's getting a little Hollywood, which is fine. But Tom Brady and him recently did a golf match against one another for ESPN, I believe. And or one of these networks, they do it's called The Match. And Peyton's played in it. And Mickelson plays in it. This time it was Rodgers and Mickelson and Bryson DeChambeau and Brady. So the whole time, everyone was trolling Aaron Rodgers. Charles Barkley pops on. He's trolling Aaron Rodgers. Everybody's trying to get him to say what he's going to do next year. Is he going to play for the Packers or what? And so they do a thing. They play a game of Jeopardy in a little bit of a segment that they do to fill time in between holes or whatever. And the very first thing that they come up, the four of them are playing Jeopardy. The first one was offered to Tom Brady. He's an NBA owner, a self-taught guitarist, and has guest starred in both The Office and Game of Thrones. And Brady said, this is how he answered the question. He's unhappy with his boss and he has no options. Who is Aaron Rodgers? Wow. What a fucking grenade thrown right at him. So, like, Aaron Rodgers was in the office at one point. That's why he's so Hollywood. I would hate it if I was a Green Bay Packer fan. My guy's guest starring in The Office, and he did a little Game of Thrones. I think he got killed in Game of Thrones. I don't remember where he was. He was like, a rock fell on him or something. I can't remember what it was. But Brady throws that shade. Rodgers laughs at the extra words from Brady and said, "That's a projection, Tom. I never said I'm unhappy with my boss." Brady replied with a laugh, "I said it, not you." And then they all kind of chuckled, which is a little gross if you're Aaron Rodgers, but hilarious if you're Tom Brady for just throwing that out there. He doesn't give any fucks anymore. I kind of am digging it. And I don't know. I feel like that's sacrilege to say, but he's down in the NFC North. He's no longer in the AFC East. So I could give two shits what he does as far as football. I'll win all the championships, Tom, as long as it's not against the Bills. I don't give a fuck. So have fun, Brady. And you're starting to win me over, and it's weird, you know? I kind of hate it. You know, but he's shat on the fucking Patriots a little bit here and there. He puts his digs in back to Kraft and Belichick, but so I kind of, you know, maybe I'm coming around on Tom Brady, and I don't know how to feel about that. I feel strange. Please respect my space during this time of transition, okay? I don't really know what to make of it. But boy, oh boy, this next story, and this is what I was talking about earlier. No one's talking about this, and it seems insane to me. Trevor Bauer is the ace pitcher of the Los Angeles Dodgers. One of the best pitchers in the in Major League Baseball. Recently signed a massive contract, I believe, or he just got traded there, so he's like poised to do a massive. Either way, big player in Major League Baseball, and no one is talking about this case. It's like you bring it up and people are like, "Who?" And it's just that just goes to show these guys are celebrities and major players in the sport of baseball, but they can just kind of get things swept under the rug. So Trevor Bauer is right now on administrative leave with the team, and he was recently just re-put on administrative leave for another 7 days while they suss all this out. Most likely will not be back before the All-Star break, if at all. It's getting crazy. What happened here? Well, Trevor Bauer has been accused of various things, but you know, I forget what the charges are. And I have the article that's kind of like beyond the charges. Does it say it later in the article, or Sean? What the like things that he's being investigated by police following allegations he inflicted severe physical and emotional pain on a woman he met after she tagged him in an Instagram story. She alleged she was diagnosed with acute head injury and assault by manual strangulation as a result of the alleged incident. Under the Major League Baseball domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy, Bauer has been placed on paid leave for 7 days, which is a wild, short... Considering all those things, domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy, their policy says they are paid leave for 7 days, which is like nothing. That's like when when Ray Rice was suspended for his domestic violence thing, it was 4 games initially, and then the video footage came out, and the NFL's like, oh boy, you're just not allowed to play football anymore. And so they got rid of him. But everyone was thinking their 4 games was too light. 4 games in the NFL is like a fourth of the season. 7 days in Major League Baseball is like a blip in time. Like some guys take that off anyways. So there were disturbing images first seen last week. Bauer's accuser can be seen with 2 black eyes, visible injuries to her face. She alleges the baseball star raped and repeatedly punched her in the genitals. Wild act. The documents also show how Bauer appears to have texted her to ask her how she was in the aftermath of the alleged attack. Our goal is to keep Mr. Bauer from contacting our client in any way possible, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. This was all over sex, and so more text messages have come out recently from her. And this isn't like me going like, she was asking for it. I'm just reporting what the text messages said. And they, in fact, might be asking for it a little bit. The woman, identified as Miss Hill by her lawyer, is said to have written on May 9th, "Never been more turned on in my life. Give me all the pain. Roar." These messages obtained by the Daily Mail. Bauer appears to suggest slaps in the face, to which Hill responds, yes, 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 which is, you know how they say no means no? 4 yeses. What does that mean? She also, it's said to have been written, the pink socks stay on while cuddling, but off when it's time to choke me out. She wrote that to him. She adds, get a couple of slaps in there. Then another handprint on my ass. She spells with the ampersand $sign, so I assume that's ass. Bauer, who denies the allegations against him, replies, do you even know what pain is? She says, IDK, try me. Woo! And then she goes on to say the baseball star then strangled her with her own hair until she was knocked unconscious after they met twice, once in April and once in May. So she went back after the April one. The messages in which Hill said to have said she liked being choked were allegedly sent in the period between the two encounters. She said the Dodgers pitcher, without asking me or telling me in advance, he wrapped my hair around my neck. I think he did that in the texts. I'm just saying, she said I lost consciousness. But here's the thing, and I'm not defending Trevor Bauer, because here's the thing. I get kinky sex or whatever. That's not my speed. The pain thing has never been my speed, so I have a hard time putting myself in that realm. And maybe at the end of the day, that's why I can't like defend Trevor Bauer here. You know what I mean? Because I've had girls go like, choke me, and I'm like, okay. And I'm just kind of like, and I just kind of like put my hand there. There's no way I'm actually going to choke you. Even if you fucking beg for it and you're into it, I'm not going to do. Slap me in the face? You're going to have to get that someplace else, I'm afraid. I'm not slapping, even if a woman's like begging me to slap her in the face. I'm not doing that. There's nothing in me that I don't want to slap you. Sorry. I'm sorry that gets you off. I don't want to physically hurt you, even though that you like that. And then also because you could go afterwards and there's bruises there. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't bode well for me and that doesn't do anything for me to be like, skaboosh, just beat the shit out of a chick. I can't do it, dude. How about you, Sean? You beating chicks or what?
I am not beating chicks.
But you've heard these things. I mean, you've heard, I'm sure during relations with women, them say things like that. Choke me, blah, blah, blah.
Most deaf.
Slap. I mean, the ass is one thing when they say slap that, but like when they're like, slap me in the face, I go, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And it's not because I'm worried I'm going to become a Trevor Bauer. But here's the thing. I never will be a Trevor Bauer because of the fact that I just cannot be brought to that level of wanting to hurt somebody, even if it's for sex. I'm not into pain, and I'm not into inflicting it. I'd rather inflict emotional abuse. How about that? We can do that. I'm more of a mental abuser. So I'll just gaslight you or something at the end of the day. It's just so insane, though. I can't do that. I can't do the physical sex. So I can't put my brain to where Trevor Bauer's, if a girl ever said that to me, I'd be like, ha, 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 it's just talk to me. And then if she was like, we can't go any further until you actually do it, I would be like, well, I guess this is over.
Idiot woman!
Because there's no way I'm hitting you. How about you get a little more self-esteem or something? I don't really know what it's based in, but I'm not doing it. Sorry, lady. What, do you think I'm wrong for that? Is that a kink shame?
I think, if it's in a controlled environment, I guess.
But if you have an animal like Trevor Bauer who just doesn't, like, he hears those words and that gives him the green light, like, Is that kind of on you? Damn. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm not taking any of the blame off of his plate. I'm saying, like, whatever you got, he still beat the shit out of a woman, which I think is fucked up. Even if she was like, do it, you know what I mean? But again, it's all that talk shit, so you don't even know if it's real. Like, I've said some wild shit to women. Doesn't mean I'm going to be able to accomplish any of that. You know, in text, you talk a fair game. I'm flowery with my language. And oftentimes I can throw things out there that I have no capabilities of actually doing, you know? I can't fuck you to the moon. I don't know. That's just an example. Whatever I'm saying in there, it's hyperbole is my point. Trevor Bauer took it literally, and I don't know. I just
can't abide such idiocy any longer.
I think they're both kind of fucked up. Both of them. They both have to share blame in this. And I don't know what's going to happen to Trevor Bauer. The Dodgers decided to not do bobblehead night for Trevor Bauer coming up here. That's something they were like, maybe we don't do that. But they've been very kind of like, let's not even address it. And because they have not addressed it, I feel like it hasn't been quite the story. Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Babbel. The world is opening up. You're able to travel again. Maybe you're traveling abroad this summer, overseas. And you don't want to go over there and look like a schmo. And now that the world's opening up, open up your mind with Babbel and their wonderful lessons that they have right on your phone to learn a new language. They have 15-minute lessons, and they make the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. There's so many different languages that you can choose from. I was messing around with French. I was trying to help my Spanish a little bit as well, brush up on that, because I took all those archaic classes back in like middle school and in high school. And with Babbel, they take out all the like stuff that they basically have found a way to make a lesson that gets rid of all that stuff that's the reason your high school and middle school lessons never worked at the end of the day. They use AI for their lesson plans. But with Babbel lessons, they were created over 100 language experts, and their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. So with Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, plus Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you improve your pronunciation and accent. So you don't have to have some teacher rapping your knuckles, maybe figuratively or literally. Babbel just tells you. They're like, that's not how you say it. And then you say it again, and you do it until you get it right. They really call you out on it, too. So right now, when you purchase 3 months of Babbel, you'll get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the low price of 3 months. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code Josh. That's BABBEL.com, code Josh, for an extra 3 months for free. Today's Josh Potter Show is also brought to us by Policy Genius. Policy Genius, they're not an insurance company. They're more like a broker. They kind of help you out in terms of gathering all the insurance companies' prices and things and finding out what suits you best and what price suits you best. They compare things. People save all of the time. They get quotes from over a dozen top insurers all in one place for you. And you might be asking, why do I want to compare my insurance? Well, you can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. You could save up to $1,300 or more per year on life insurance. And you're probably like, Josh, do I need life insurance? Of course you do. Even if you don't have kids or a wife, you might have a business partner. You might have a kids or a wife. You might have anybody in your family. Life insurance is very important. Policy Genius is making it easier for you because they have experts that work for you and not for the insurance company. So you can trust them to help you navigate through things every step of the way and through the buying and shopping process of life insurance policies. It's that kind of service that earned Policy Genius thousands of 5-star reviews across things like Trustpilot and Google. So how it works is it's real simple. You go to policygenius.com/Josh in minutes. You can work out how much life insurance coverage you need and compare personalized quotes to find your best price. So head to policygenius.com/Josh. Get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right. Now, there's another one in the news that I can't believe is literally just flying under the radar to the point of like, I think nothing's going to happen. It's the Chicago Blackhawks thing. Oh my God. And this thing is like, this article is a bit of an opinion piece, so I'm going to try and not like read the whole thing here. But basically what's been occurring is long time, basically like the Catholic Church-esque, long-time cover-up of sexual abuse within the Chicago Blackhawks organization. It was a video scout guy or a video coach that was doing the dirty deeds. And apparently there are multiple Hawks players from 2010 who had been threatened with both physical violence and other sorts of manipulation tactics. This guy would, basically he's a video coach, right? So they'd come in, they'd watch tape. He was putting in porn. And he was like, if you tell anybody, I'll fucking kill you or something like that. He was threatening. 3 former players from 2010 Stanley Cup team said recently that Bradley Aldrich alleged assaults were no secret to the team at the time. That's the definition of too late. So they're starting to like act on it now here, 11 years later. So I'm trying to parse through this idiot's writing. Basically what the lawsuit says is true. They failed to do so. Okay, so let me just get to what the lawsuit says here. 3 years after, by the way, after this 2010 incident, the reason this came up again, this man allegedly molested a 16-year-old boy in Michigan and then served prison time. And people were like, hey, we brought this guy to your attention 3 years earlier. We brought it to the Blackhawks organization attention, and they just covered it up. And so it's all Hawks players, especially the older ones, failed. They weren't high school or college kids who lacked the maturity to speak up. This is the opinion of the person who wrote this. They were adults, some in their mid to late 20s. I'm just trying to get to what exactly occurred. I'm trying to. I gave you a terrible article here about this. I'm trying to get the details of what was alleged. According to the player's suit, Aldridge sent inappropriate text messages, turned on porn, and began to masturbate in front of the players without their consent, and threatened to injure them physically, financially, and emotionally if they did not engage in sexual activity. So that means they were like, okay, but how old? I don't know they don't say who the players are. Obviously, they were on the 2010 Stanley Cup team. Is this like Patrick Kane or who? I mean, like, who the hell's on this? That's like, I mean, they're adults too. So like, you're just at work and a guy is taking his dick out and then he's like, I will fucking kill you if you don't engage. What do you? I mean, I would pretty much. I can't imagine how old I'd have to be like truly manipulated by that. But again, I can't put myself in their shoes. It's just insane for me to think that professional athletes would allow like a video coach to manipulate them, thinking that he had the power to like injure them both physically and financially. That's insane to me. But again, some of these dudes, you ever watch that documentary, Sean, called Abducted in Plain Sight? Mm-hmm. These fucking sexual abusers are like wildly manipulative, and I guess they like pick the right ones or something because they can really like go after them and fuck their brains up. So like a guy like Jonathan Taves, he said he disagrees with the notion that the sexual assault allegations were common knowledge, because now people are saying like, oh, the whole organization knew about it. It was running rampant through there and they did everything that can cover it up. But he was telling The Athletic that he didn't begin to hear whispers about them until the following season, which is still crazy because that's, 2011? That's been a decade. So then, wildly enough, this whole thing comes to light. So nobody's talking about this. I don't think that the NHL is even going to inflict discipline on the Chicago Blackhawks. Gary Bettman just did a press conference as the Stanley Cup Finals, the most boring, low-rated Stanley Cup Finals since 2007, wrapped up, and he didn't address this whatsoever. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anything's going to happen. That's how little people give a fuck about hockey, apparently, that there could just be like massive sexual abuse involved in one of the biggest organizations in the league, probably. Chicago Blackhawks, one of the originals. I mean, it's one of the storied franchises in the NHL. No one's talking about it. Nothing's happening. There is lawsuits, and in fact, happening. I'm sure someone will get money, things like that. But wow. Still crazy to me at the end of the day. Is there another one I want to get to before this tragic story? No, I'm going to just go right into the tragic story. Speaking of the NHL, a goaltender for the Columbus Blue Jackets was killed by a firework. This story was insane. It happened, of course, on 4th of July. Matisse Klivenicks is the guy who was killed by this firework tragically, unfortunately. And fireworks and athletes have a long tradition of just being, I forget who the cornerback was, but JPP, Jean-Pierre Paul, of course, he blew off a couple of fingers, and he was able to still play because he plays on the defensive line. So he really just has, he has this fingers left, and he can still put them into the ground and do a three-point stance. You know what I mean? And then he could slap, the blockers. He could still tackle with no fingers. But there was a cornerback. I'm going to look it up who it was here because I can't remember his name. There was a cornerback who blew off a couple of fingers, and he didn't have such a great time trying to get back into the league, unfortunately for him. It was C.J. Wilson, who at that time played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Of course, JPP just won a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a weird sort of coincidence. But C.J. Wilson was his name. He lost 2 fingers when fireworks did not pop out of the canister when they exploded. That's what his father confirmed to a North Carolina television station. And since he's a cornerback, he's playing in the secondary, you kind of need those fingers. You got to catch the ball. So he kind of found himself fucked over with that as far as that goes. And I saw this past 4th of July, the same day this tragic accident happened here with the goaltender of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Willie Colon, retired player, former lineman, I believe, of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He also almost blew off a few fingers with fireworks, which is insane. And I saw him, he had a picture in surgery. They reattached him, so he got lucky, and he didn't lose them. But what is with, I've lit off a lot of fireworks, both while intoxicated and while not. I don't know how people are blowing off their fingers. I can understand an accident happening, but it just seems to be happening on such a large scale with professional athletes. This one obviously separate from the ones who are blowing off their fingers, but it's just wild to me. Maybe it's because their fingers are so fat and big, is what I'm thinking. Just such big fat fingers that they're fumbling with the wicks and the lighters and things like that. My fingers are dainty and dexterous. D, 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 D. You see this? See this, ladies? Yeah, you know what that does. Anyhow, I can move them quick. They're dainty. I can get them in and out. Maybe that's why I can't relate to it. But this story is insane. And it was a party at a coach's house. So you know that there were other team people around. And you would think, like, and this is another thing that's so wild about professional sports, when they have a member of a team die, it's an interesting thing to watch how it affects the team going forward. Of course, it affects people in a way where they're saddened and they're just morose, you would think. But sometimes it's just so weird how they can move on so quickly. This, again, happened at a coach's house, and obviously time will tell how they deal with it. But to give you an example, for instance, why I say that, and maybe the callousness oftentimes when something like this occurs. We've brought him up. He's kind of a Roach Motel, Josh Potter Show Hall of Famer, Javon Belcher, former linebacker of the Kansas City Chiefs, who woke up one morning, murdered his baby mama, and then drove to the team facility, walked up to his coach and his general manager, Scott Pioli, and said, "Thank you for allowing me to play football," and then blew his brains out in front of them in the parking lot. And that was on Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. And then Scott Pioli goes, "Damn it, who's going to play linebacker tomorrow?" And they had to play the next day. And I don't know. I mean, they kind of, the coach, I forget who the coach was. Was it Romeo Crennel? I believe it was. I can't remember. I don't want to say it was Romeo Crennel if it wasn't. But I'm going to find out right now who the coach was. Because the coach was particularly like, and I don't know how I would react. I would be in shock too. But he just watched this man blow his brains out after murdering his baby mama. It was Romeo Crennel. So he just watched this happen. And then he's up at the press conference the next day and he brings it up. But he's still like onto the Bengals or whoever the fuck they were playing. It was wild. So I wonder how they're going to handle this in Columbus. I mean, I saw a lot of posts. People were very upset. Again, it happened at a coach's house. The circumstances started to come out because originally it was thought that he tripped getting out of a hot tub, but the 24-year-old died after an errant firework mortar blast hit him in the chest, and he suffered chest trauma and major damage to his heart and lungs. So it was one of those big, like, concussive ones, like, boom, right into his chest. That's crazy to me. And so, like, it kind of knocked him off the side of the hot tub, apparently. And they were told initially that we might have a head injury because they thought he hit his head when he was knocked off the side of the hot tub. But that wasn't the case according to the people who conducted the autopsies and things like that. It was apparent. It was obviously once they raced him to the hospital and tried everything they could with everyone being there, it was a chest thing at the end of the day that the blast led to his death. And they were all at Manny Legacy. That is the coach, the goaltending coach. They were all at his house the day after a wedding of his daughter. Oh, man. So, so very tragic death. But it just sucks the way that they, like, reported in such a callous way. Like, you know, at the end of the day, people are going to jump to assumptions like, oh, people were drunk and they fired the fire. Like, the last two mortars fell off the box. They were being reckless and careless and things like that. I want them to Todd Beamer these kinds of stories, you know, and there's really no... there's no need to just have I guess they're just reporting on the facts, but I just want a better story for this man and his family at the end of the day. You know what I mean by Todd Beamer, this thing, right, Sean?
Todd Beamer, no.
Do you remember Todd Beamer?
Mm-mm.
He was the man who was on Flight 93 during 9/11, and it was said that they caught wind of all the planes crashing into the buildings and whatnot, the Pentagon, the World Trade Centers. So Todd Beamer and the rest of the passengers decided that they were going to take the plane down. And they said, and he said right before he did, he goes, "Let's roll." And then they did it, and they put it down right miraculously into a field where no buildings were around and there was no sort of casualties in terms of collateral damage of where they put it down. Miraculously, that just happened. And I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but I know that story is horseshit. That plane was fucking shot down, and you cannot convince me otherwise. And so you can disagree with me, whatever. But at the end of the day, I understand what was done. We needed something to galvanize the country. We needed a hero story from that day, and Todd Beamer became that story. And I want a hero story about Matisse. I want him to, he took the firework in the chest. I want it to be said that he jumped in front of the firework and protected like a group of puppies, or maybe a school of children, like maybe a youth group of...
the inner city blacks
He jumped in front of it and did what he does as a goalie and took the mortar on the chest. Why can't we spin it like that? We did it with 9/11. Let's do it more for these folk. I think we need to get the Todd Beamer School of Journalism back into effect. Todd Beamer, the story. Anytime you hear a real sad, tragic story, just think about how we could Todd Beamer it up. Let's start doing that more. What do you say? Yeah, don't you think we should do that?
Yeah.
I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of just sadness. We need it in this day and age especially. No one really... We just talked about the Chicago Blackhawks having institutionalized covering up of rapes.
So insane.
And no one gives a shit. Bill Cosby's running free. Why can't we allow Matisse Klivenicks to have a wonderful story going out, you know? News time, baby.
Yeah.
And again, if you want to get a story to us here at the Josh Potter Show, joshpottershow@gmail.com. That's how you do it. joshpottershow@gmail.com. Got to remember to plug that more since we have changed over. And, of course, you can find it in the description. If you listen on the audio, you can find it in the description. And, by the way, if you listen on audio, thank you so much. I feel like I neglect in trying to build this whole YouTube channel that I've neglected to thank the people who listen via audio because you guys have not fluctuated in the least. And I appreciate you. And if you do find the time and you haven't yet, or even if you have, do it again. Like, rate, review, and if you haven't subscribed, please, because the subscriptions mean a great deal, especially in the audio front. And real quick, if you're on the YouTube, please to be subscribing there as well and hit that bell. A lot of people have been telling me they didn't hit the bell at first, and now they've hit the bell, and it populates, and that's all cherry, baby. But here in the news, another fireworks story. This one a less sad. This one a little more fun. It's a fun fireworks story. We could use it after that sports segment between Trevor Bauer giving pussy punching and fucking Chicago Blackhawks raping and the fucking poor guy from the Blue Jackets who couldn't even get his story Todd Beamered. I mean, we got to have a nice lighthearted one. And this is about a man in Florida. He reportedly pretended to be a firework late at night ahead of the holiday weekend. You know, that's economic at the end of the day, because here in Los Angeles, I heard fireworks like it was a war zone outside. And, you know, some of those fireworks can be expensive, and maybe you don't have all of the money to buy such things. So you want to go outside and just do your best. Can you do some impressions of fireworks, Sean? How would you do a firework before I do mine?
Like,
that was a nice little bottle rocket.
Yeah.
You got to be, ooh, that was a good one. I like the ones that whistle. And then there's the ones that like.
Those are sick.
I like the ones that like are all like, what's the word? Like it's like rain. It's like,
yeah, like a little fountain type. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's fun. You did a better firework. It made me sort of discouraged. And then of course you have the boom.
Those are sick.
Yeah, poor R.I.P. No, but this guy, he was yelling fireworks late into the night. There wasn't much to see, but residents could definitely hear it. The dogs were barking, and we go outside, and this guy is screaming. I mean, so loud. So he was like, bang, bang. I don't even know what he's doing. I wish we had audio of it.
We had audio.
That's why I'm trying to, if you out there, you want to do the firework challenge, I know it's post-fire 4th of July, but send in to joshpottershow@gmail.com your best firework impression, and maybe it'll make the show.
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
I'm trying to get, he was doing things like, he was just yelling, boom, and firecracker, bottle rocket. So he's just listing fireworks. It's like, snake,
Roman candle.
He's just literally reading the list of fireworks. And the cops came, of course. Master Corporal of the Cape Coral Police Department, he said that pretending to be a firework is also going to run afoul as far as noise ordinances go. So you can't, it's not a loophole as far as dealing with the police if you're yelling about the fireworks. And at least, if you were launching fireworks, you could blame somebody else. But if you're the guy fucking yelling, you can't be like, "Oh, it was that guy." You're like, "No, sir, we know where it came from." Your stupid mouth.
Bang. Like, what the fuck?
This story comes to us by way of a Roach reporter out there named Adam Fortune. This one reads, in terms of headlines, methamphetamine in waterways may be turning trout into addicts. We heard from Alex Jones that fluoride is turning the frogs gay. Now I'm hearing that there's methamphetamine in the waterways, but this is actually a major problem. Lots of pharmaceuticals are getting into the fish. So the fish are a bunch of pillheads, kind of like a lot of us out there. According to CNN, brown trout can become addicted to the illegal drug methamphetamine when it accumulates in waterways. Researchers at some fucking Czech university in Prague set out to investigate whether illicit drugs after fish behavior at levels found in bodies of water okay, this is written terribly. The team put 40 brown trout in a tank of water containing a level of methamphetamine that has been found in freshwater rivers for a period of 8 weeks before transferring them to a clean tank. Then, every other day, the researchers checked whether the trouts were suffering from meth withdrawal by giving them a choice between water containing the drug or water without. So fish are making choices here. They're like, you want this water without the meth or the one with the meth? And they're like, oh, one with the meth. I wonder how they... fish look methed out to begin with. They don't blink.
Yep.
So, how do you even see in their eyes that they're on meth? Everyone I've seen on meth, they look like fish. It's just wild to me. A further 40 trout were used as control group. So this indicates that they were suffering withdrawals because they sought out the drug when it became available. The team found that the addicted fish were less active than those that had never been exposed to methamphetamine and found traces of the drug in their brains up to 10 days after the exposure. It's kind of fucked up that we're doing it to the fish. I don't know. And so I wonder, this is maybe a question for Dr. Drew or something down the road. If I eat a meth fish, do I get methed?
That's what I was thinking.
Because I'm hearing that there's a lot of pharmaceuticals in the water, things like oxys, Percocets, those are also in some like populations of fish. So I'm asking, should I get a line and a lure and start catching some fish? Are we given, say there's meth fish out there in a pond, right?
Yeah.
And we tell meth heads that these fish are methed out. Are we going to see them like grab, they're going to be like fucking in one of those National Geographic things and they're going to be scooping up the fish as they jump through the waterfall. They're going to look like a fucking grizzly bear munching on them.
Straight meth.
These particular fish were euthanized. Oh, good. Their brain tissues analyzed. I don't know why. I don't even think of fish as sentient beings, but this story made me all of a sudden think like, that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think of fish as like they're like plants to me.
Mm.
But now, not anymore. Not according to that. Now, after I saw this thing, I'm thinking of them like they're fucking animals. And I'm like, that's fucked up that they methed them out. But I want to know, since there are pharmaceuticals in various... think about this, folks. This is where people are catching your fish in some of these bodies of water in which are pharmaceuticaled out. I don't know why. It's just runoff or something. I don't really know the cause. What pharmaceutical companies are doing. Are they just dumping pills in the water? Because if they're dumping pills in the water, stop. Pass them along.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? It's so funny, dude. I am like everything that Tim Dillon makes fun of. I'm just like, I just am a middle-aged 35-year-old childless man who just loves to party, and I just don't care. Like, I'm all the things. I just lean into all of it, and I'm that person. I just keep thinking about that. Like, we've met once or twice. He would be disgusted by my lifestyle, hands down. It's unbelievable. Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Liquid IV. The summer months are here, and if you're an outdoorsy person in any capacity, you need to be proactive about your hydration. And Liquid IV is helping that exponentially. And for me, I'm not going to lie, I'm not really an outdoors active person, but I do like to party, and the summer months make it necessary to hydrate proactively for that as well. Prevents hangovers and things like that. It really is helping. I haven't had a hangover since I've been rocking Liquid IV. I don't know if that's necessarily something that they want to hear, but I've been having a good go of drinking here. Nice summertime, the world's open again, and just popping those Liquid IV. And what I love about the Liquid IV, by the way, not only do they have amazing flavors, passion fruit, strawberry, lime, lemon lime, it's just lime. It's just unbelievable how many different, they sent me all the flavors and I haven't gotten through all of them, but I'm working my way pretty quickly because the world's open up. I'm out drinking again, but they come in the tubes and it's easy to pour them into the bottle of water or your like hydro flask or whatever, as opposed to those pouches that are so huge and you got to be like, think you're doing like an experiment or whatever. But one stick of Liquid IV is 16 ounces of water, hydrates faster and more efficiently than just water alone. Not only that, but the product tastes great with flavors. Like I said, they've got the strawberry, they've got the passion fruit, they've got watermelon, lemon, lime. So right now, I want to hook you up, dog. Liquid IV, get 5 essential vitamins, more vitamin C than oranges, and as much potassium as a freaking banana. And so right now, you can grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Josh at checkout. That's 25% off your entire order, by the way. That's a fourth of the price just getting lopped off when you order. Get better hydration today using the promo code Josh at liquidiv.com. Again, 25% off. Code Josh at liquidiv.com. Today's Josh Potter Show is also brought to us by Mint Mobile. And I got to tell you, I've been through the rigmarole as far as mobile service providers go. I've been up and down, and after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if I've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard about Mint Mobile and their offering of premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after speaking with them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint's Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service only online. By cutting out retail stores, there's no crazy overhead costs and getting pressed down to you in the form of mystery fees. So Mint just passes on sweet savings direct to you. So there's no fees being passed down or anything like that. It's real quick and easy and super simple. $15, bobbity boop, that's it. For people looking for extra savings, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with your existing contracts. And if you're not 100, or your existing contacts, the ones that are in your phone, your mom, your dad, whoever, you got friends, those people. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has you covered with their 7-day money-back guarantee. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. And you can get your $15 a month wireless plan and get the plan shipped to your door for free just by going to mintmobile.com/Josh. That's mintmobile.com/Josh. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month, dude, at mintmobile.com/Josh. Next up, we have, though, speaking of my type of people, this is from Roach reporter RJ. An Iowa man accused of making a bomb threat over the lack of McDonald's dipping sauce. I haven't heard a more justified bomb threat in ages. Can't tell you the last time I heard a justified bomb threat like this. Let's get in to see what happened, because just by the headline, I'm on the bomb threat team. I'm on Team Bomb Threat. An Iowa man was arrested Saturday after police said he threatened to blow up a McDonald's because the restaurant didn't include dipping sauce for his chicken McNuggets. I've been there. You don't get the dipping sauce, and you're just like, you just say things you don't mean because you're seeing red. You're just like, I'll blow this fucking place up. You just say that, and the fact that they called the cops, I mean, how many people, they must get, if you're working at a real dicey McDonald's, there's at least 3 bomb threats like that a day. So, I mean, this must have happened, this happened in Iowa, a place called Ann Kenny, and so maybe they don't get these types of people coming into their establishment as often because they called the police after one guy didn't get dipping sauce and said he was going to blow it up. If that happened in LA, we'd have no police doing anything else other than going to McDonald's to respond to bomb threats. Sergeant Corey Schneden with the Ankeny Police Department said 42-year-old Robert Goldwitzer Jr., he's 42, he's probably not got much going on. Give him his fucking dipping sauce, all right? If he wants extra dipping sauce, go like, sure, man, have it. Think about these people that you're serving McDonald's, Think about their lives and how terrible they must be, and the fact that your dipping sauce is going to go a long way in preventing something like this from occurring. It happened around 5:20 p.m. on a Saturday evening after discovering his order was incorrect. In the call, Goldwitzer allegedly, so he called after discovering his order was incorrect. He called the store, so he just was like, ring, 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 and he allegedly threatened to blow up the restaurant and punch an employee. I don't know that the punch is such a threat after you're going to blow it up. You have to do those in order. Probably punch them first and then blow it up. I would have threatened to punch. You got to think of like your timing, pal. The punch goes before the blowing up, if you want to really have some je ne sais quoi behind it. According to a criminal complaint, police called Goldwitzer at the phone number he used to make the threat. Police said he admitted over the phone, and later in an interview at the police department, said that he had made the threats. He had been charged with a Class D felony false report of an explosive or incendiary device. Wild. All because they wouldn't give him some fucking barbecue or something, whatever it was. I mean, come on. If the guy admitted it and then he was like, listen, they fucked up my order. I had a fit of rage. They're still charging him with a Class D felony. That's fucking wild. But more stories in the fast food world. Again, RJ sending both of these stories. It's like he's our fast food beat reporter. Customers started shooting at a Burger King after dispute with staff over hot sauce. Oh. Stop being so precious with your fucking condiments out there, big fast food. I mean, McDonald's, Burger King. You can let go of some of the condiments. Stop having violence over condiments. You can't expect the customers to be that rational. Just let the condiments go. It's going a long way in preventing violence down the road too. You know, it's like a salve, if you will, over burns. Just give the extra hot sauce. Give the fucking barbecue sauce. That's my message for today. A shooting over the amount of hot sauce on spicy chicken sandwich at a fast food restaurant in Tennessee has landed 2 people behind bars. Interesting. This could be a too much hot sauce situation. Kiana Halliburton, 20 years old, and Tavares McKinney, 22, are each charged with 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder and 4 counts of employment of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Police, these charges... Why? I don't know the law very good. Police said a woman identified as Halliburton was reportedly involved in an altercation with the Burger King employees over a spicy chicken sandwich. The driver of the car, identified as McKinney, drove away after the altercation. The pair is reported to have come back and fired shots at 4 people from the vehicle. 2 people were struck by gunfire. An uncle of one of the victims hit by the gunfire spoke to Fox 13 News. She was very much shaken up, but she is a brave woman. She is still there. By the grace of God, she is good. And that's great. I mean, I can't tell you, if you're getting shot at Burger King as an employee of Burger King, or if you witness that happen, I'd go, I'm not getting paid enough to sling these fries. No fucking way. That would make me never want to do that again. At some point in time, the uncle told the news outlet his niece said the suspect was upset because there was too much hot sauce on the spicy chicken sandwich. So forgive me for my rant earlier. Apparently, the sauce can go both ways. If you don't give out enough, you're getting a bomb threat. If you're giving out too much, they're coming back and they're shooting you. Seems like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't in the fast food world. And I apologize for my anger and raised temper earlier in my rant. I am team fast food. As far as I'm concerned, fast food employees, you're like the 9/11 firefighters. You got us through COVID, and I'm putting you on the same tier as those heroes. You heard it right here first, okay? You heard it right here. I'm putting you on the same level as the cops and firefighters on 9/11 for your COVID contribution and for dealing with all of this outrage and violence hurled your way for no reason other than people are on drugs and losing their minds, and you happen to be in the way of them all the time as a fast food employee. I mean, those spicy chickens, I've bitten into a couple of them, and they have been hot, and it is burned, and I've gone like, good God. But I've never wanted to, it's never driven me to violence where I'm like, I have to inflict pain on the employee who handed this to me.
Jeez.
God damn. It's a crazy world out there, folks. People are upset. People are very angry. And they have been inside for many a month. And now they're getting a little out of pocket as they go out and about. This one comes to us by way of our own Ashawn. Sending in this guy right here about a female corrections officer jailed for sex with an inmate in view of 11 others. Well, that's where she fucked up.
Yep.
You don't fuck in front of the others unless they're on board. Like, they have to be really into watching, like, into cuck things. They have to be really into it, because then they'd stay quiet about it because they want you to do it again. But if you're doing it in front of 11 others, you really have to make sure, because even if you have one person on that 11 others that goes like, I'm pissed that she didn't fuck me, they're going to tattle. Mm-hmm. And I believe, without reading the story, Sean, that's what happened here. A female California corrections officer. By the way, do we have a picture of this lady?
I could pull up one.
Pull one up while I tell the story here, because, I mean, we can't not see the lady. I mean, come on. So a female California corrections officer with a depraved mind has been jailed for reportedly having sex with an inmate in full view of 11 other jailbirds. Tina Gonzalez, 26. Ooh la la. Ooh, no way. No
right?
way.
Right?
Wait.
Correctional officer?
What the fuck are you doing?
Who the fuck?
What is she a corrections officer for?
What?
Unbelievable. I'm like, I gotta take a minute. Golly, look at her.
Ooh.
Why are you doing? Why do you work there? You don't like that job. I get it. There's benefits. It's probably a decent salary. But girl, we could get you an Instagram and OnlyFans. I would get you a house. I could get you a house in like 4 days.
Woo.
We could get you 6 figures in 2 months, dude. I mean, what are you doing? I'm just sad that she just made such poor choices. I mean, now that this story, here's the thing, and I'm going to throw this out, and this is my complex. I try to save these women. This story, use it as heat. You know? I don't know that she's going to jail. We're going to find out in a minute. Oh, no, she was jailed. Okay. When you get out, Bill Cosby got out, so you'll be able to get out. Don't worry. When you get out, Tina Gonzalez, hit me up for a multitude of reasons, but also we're going to use this and we're going to pub up the corrections officer's OnlyFans. You're going to make a lot of money. So there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We're going to make it happen. Tina Gonzalez, 26 years old, even cut a hole in her uniform pants to make it easier to have sex in Fresno County Jail. Her sentencing hearing was told on Tuesday. Her former boss, Assistant Sheriff Steve McComas, told the court that he had witnessed many pretty disgusting things during his 26 years on the job, but nothing as shocking as hearing Gonzalez's sex session in full view of other inmates. First of all, Steve McComas, disgusting things. I'm sure you watched a lot of disgusting things in a prison. There's a lot of fucking gross, disgusting things happening in there. This woman fucking one of the prisoners in front of 11 others, not one of them. That's probably one of the better things that occurred in that prison, and one of the more marquee things in terms of visuals. So get off your fucking high horse. Do not put this with the other dumb, disgusting shit that you witnessed. This is wild, and actually probably in a better, more open society would have been looked on fonder, and she would have been praised for her way of placating these inmates. That is something only a depraved mind can come up with. This guy has never watched porn. Either he's such a dork or he's never, I mean, come on, McComas. You must be a fucking dork. Gonzalez, who quit after being arrested in May last year, also supplied the same inmate with razors, a cell phone, and advanced warnings when his cell was going to be searched. Well, you can't be doing those things. Even if you like them. You can fuck them, in my opinion. But you start helping them out, that's when shit gets a little wonky. Remember that story about the prisoner who had the huge dick in upstate New York and the chick was fucking him? Ben Stiller made a mini-series about it. You should watch it sometimes. Can't remember the names of any of these people. But it was a marquee 5 years ago or so. It was big in my hometown because it was right around the area. But a big jail escape, big prison escape. And it was because this woman was facilitating it. She loved him. She worked in the prison. But she was gross. She was a fucking... What was her fucking name? They called her like Piggy or something. Ah, man. Hold on 1 second. Let's see real quick. New York State jailbreak. I'm going to find it real quick. Oh, yes. Clinton Correctional Facility. When Richard, Matt, and David Sweat. That's right. But who was the fucking chick? I'm going to tell you her name in 2 seconds here, and you're going to pull her up, and we're going to compare her to our fine Tina Gonzalez, who did not help, by the way, anybody escape. What the fuck was her name? La 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 la. Why won't they have her name in here anywhere? Joyce Mitchell. Type in Joyce Mitchell, Clinton County. Oh no, that's the public defender. Fuck me. God damn it. Yeah, no, it was Joyce Mitchell. I don't know. Type in Joyce Mitchell and see what comes up. Who's that chick? The big one in the middle there with the glasses.
Joyce Mitchell?
Is that her? Is that Joyce Mitchell? Yeah, Joyce Mitchell. Patricia Arquette played her in the fucking thing and did a wonderful job in the Ben Stiller movie. So it was Joyce Mitchell. I was second-guessing myself. But there she is. Look at her. Richard Matt was giving it to her just so he could get the proper tools to get out of jail. He had it all planned out. Richard Matt and David Sweat, they had it all planned out. And one of them was said to have a giant dick. And so that's why she was like all about it. And I think Benicio del Toro played him in the Ben Stiller thing. Check out that miniseries. There she is. Now look at her compared to our sweet, sweet Tina Gonzalez. She took an oath which she betrayed, and in doing so endangered her co-workers' lives. Not sure. I don't know how she sounds like she was enriching them to me. But she has shown no remorse. She continually calls and has sexually explicit conversations with the inmate in question and boasts about the crime she carried out. Gonzalez pleaded no contest in April to sexual activity by a detention facility employee with a consenting inmate, as well as possessing drugs or alcohol and a cell phone to give the inmate, the outlet said. She even cut a hole in her uniform. We heard that part. Yep. I think what you did, this is what the judge told her after giving her 2 years probation and 7 months in county jail. So not bad. After that 7 months, Tina, you're going to get out, you're going to look me up, we're going to set up an OnlyFans, and we are going to get you a bunch of money, and we're going to put you on the circuit. You're going to be doing feature nights. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to make a great deal of money as long as you're a hard worker. Anywho, the judge told her, I think what you did was terrible, stupid, and you ruined your career. Oh, boo-hoo, a career as a corrections officer. No offense to the corrections officers out there, but, like, this chick's got a future in show business at this point. I don't think she gives a fuck. I wouldn't give a fuck if I was her. I'm just saying. She can make a great deal of money. A great deal. You hear me? But I also believe that people can redeem themselves. That's what the judge told her. And you have the rest of your life to do that. It's not going to take the rest of your life. We're going to get that OnlyFans cranking. 2 months. Give me 2 months.
Baby.
2 months. But that being said, let us wrap up the show. We have a Karen that we must defend. And let's wrap up the show with this Karen. If you're out there, by the way, before we listen to this Karen, and you want to give us a defending Karen intro of some kind, I would greatly appreciate it. JoshPotterShow@gmail.com. Submit them in. I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to use it forever. So submit them in, and we'll get it to you. And by the way, if you've been sending your resumes and things to the email, keep them coming. Just because I haven't written back, I'm reading all of them. I'm putting the ones that I want to talk to. It's going to take a couple months, like I said initially. But keep those coming, and don't think because I haven't written back or anything that you're out of the running or something. But looking for qualified people, by the way. Some people are writing to me. They're like, I have zero experience, but I want to do it. And you're like, well, probably not going to. Probably, I kind of need a guy with experience, So keep sending those things. Again, the email, joshpottershow@gmail.com. Let us defend this Karen.
I have to identify myself.
Yes, you do.
Actually, I don't. It's called common law. You should read up on it. I do not. Okay? So we both know that I don't. I am a woman of God. This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will not have it. Do you understand that? I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand? The CDC just released...
Turn around.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Play this game.
Oh my gosh.
I knew it, right? I knew it the whole time before she even said CDC. I was like, this bitch is pissed about a mask situation. Hands down. Am I right about that? Do you know the backstory at all?
I don't know the backstory.
Yeah, I couldn't tell off the backstory, but I was just like, this bitch was told that she has to wear a mask inside somewhere and then lost her mind. What is this energy, by the way? I've seen so many Karens do this. It makes it very hard to defend you when you meet this tone, because it just piques my anxiety in a way where it's not even anxiety. It piques my temper in a way where I just want to get all Trevor Bauer on you and punch your pussies. But it's, I can't, this Karen, I'm trying to defend the fact, the Christian thing doesn't help me either. This might be an indefensible Karen, but I'm going to try my best because she is Christian and God said no masks somewhere in the Bible, I'm sure. That's what did he? I've never read the Bible, and it just seems to me that Christians and masks, they're always citing something about Christianity and the fact they can't wear a mask. I by the way, the only time I wear a mask now is in an Uber, because that's the only place I've been told to. Stores and everything, half the people are wearing them, half of them aren't. It's a free-for-all, so I just don't. I'm vaccinated. I don't give a shit. I'm just done. I'm done, dude. I'm done. That's the thing. Like, they're talking about the Delta thing. I'm like, and Pfizer's like, hey, we're going to put out a third dose so that you can protect yourself even more against the Delta variant. I'm like, just make Viagra and shut the fuck up. Just make Viagra. Stop it. We're done, dude. Everyone's done with this shit. I mean, if you're not done at this point, you're a deranged loon. You know, you're just an insane person. You know, you're like the left-wing Ben Shapiro at this point. I can't abide such idiocy, as the great John Otto would say. I did want to bring up one thing before I go.
Can't abide such idiocy
And
any
it's,
longer.
I watched yesterday. This was this is just a little baseball note, and it's keep your eyes out for this gentleman. That's what I want to say real quick before we go. He's a relief pitcher for the Padres, and his name is Daniel Camarena, I believe is his name. Let me just double check that I got that right, because it just happened last night, and literally nobody. Yeah, Daniel Camarena, relief pitcher for the Padres, playing in his second game ever last night. The Padres are down 8-0. This guy hits a grand slam. He's the first relief pitcher to hit a grand slam since 1985. The Padres end up coming back, winning the game. Unbelievable. And they showed all these sweet videos of his family, his father cheering for him in the stands. I thought that was very nice. But nobody's talking about how much this guy's going to get his fucking dick sucked. And nobody should get their dick sucked more than Daniel Camarena. So if you see him out there, ladies, I petition you. Suck that dick. And if you do it in public, he's going to go through the fly. And you report back to me if he's a fly guy or if he's an over the top. Judging by him so far, what a great family he has, what a nice boy he seems like, he's a through the fly guy, like a true roach. So keep your eyes peeled in the San Diego area for that gentleman, Daniel Camarena, and suck the man's dick. He deserves it. First grand slam by a relief pitcher since 1985. That's all I got to say. But let us now wrap up the show. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank again, even though it happened last week, Tom Brenneman for coming on the show. That was unbelievable. And if you haven't checked out the interview, you still can, obviously. It's in last week's whole deal. So I want you to go check that out. Where the frig is my my music bed? I don't know. I lost it. But nevertheless, let's see if I have another one here. This is by Griff. It's called Flowers. We're just going to use that one. What do you say?
Let's do it.
But thank you so much for joining us. Again, the email, joshpottershow@gmail.com. You can send a myriad of things, as I mentioned, your roach reporting, your instrumentals, your music beds, your remixes, anything that you want, your resumes, if you indeed have a skill set that I could use to help make the show grow and move forward. Aside from that, come see me live, please. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world, and I'm trying to get out there more, so the more you buy tickets, the more dates I will get booked. July 29th, Brea Improv. It's happening here in Southern California at the Brea Improv, July 29th. Sarah Weinshank, Eric Rocha will be coming with me. And then August 2nd, I will be in St. Louis, Missouri at Helium Comedy Club. So you can get tickets for both of those shows, those two big ones, up on my Twitter at J_Potter in the bio, or in my Instagram at Josh_Potter in the bio, or just go to the club's websites. Twitch.tv/Josh_Potter. As I mentioned in the top of the show, thank you for everybody supporting me on there. You're helping me get through the early stages of this new channel, financially and otherwise. So I appreciate it a great deal. And thank you to Sean, of course. And am I missing anything else? I do not believe. We got some fun people that are going to be coming in studio in the weeks to come. But for now, I'll just say, see you next Tuesday on The Josh Potter Show.
Hey.